My friends, I want to do a quick video report on alien abductions, okay? Because we know the theme that's been running since the 50s, right? What's amazing about alien abductions is that they really took steam back in the 50s and 60s after this couple. It was the famous stories. What's their name here? I'm trying to actually do images. Oh, Betty and Barney. Let's see. Barney Hill's alien abduction. Was that the one that's famous? I can't remember. Well, anyway, I'll stay focused here because there's many, and they were supposed to be like university people, professors, college educated, this stuff and that. They said, how can anybody lie if they have a degree? Well, let's see. The biggest liars in this world are ones that have degrees to justify their job existence through this. They tend to embellish. They're good communicators. So why would you question the educator or the politician? Because they got a degree, a piece of paper. No, you know what I mean? So we know this, right? This world's so fake that if they actually have a degree, it might be a dangerous thing. I have a degree, and maybe you brothers just have a degree, but that's where he's dangerous. An intelligent mind is in the wrong way can be a dangerous mind because they know how to manipulate and use high intelligence. A lot of the serial killers have very high intellect. Are you kidding me? Because they know how to study things. They study behaviors. They study tricks. They know things of, I'm not going to go there, how to really manipulate, to use the right tools, techniques, and seek out weapons that are just amazing. For example, nicotine can actually use as a very effective way of killing somebody without having any autopsy or things like that. But I don't want to go in there because I don't want anybody to say, oh, well, that's a great idea. Okay, so there's where you be careful. They're smart because they can be chemists, they can be in many fields, and they can use their physician field to medical field, which we're seeing right now. All these educated medical professionals, all the way up to the top of the government, are using this right now. I can't mention names, YouTube banning, but they know better than me. They're smarter than me. Those smart ones, yeah. See, the smart one, they did all these tests on all this bubblegum. You remember the bubblegum saving stuff? I used to have good words for this. So I'm talking about the snake with the snake venom and stuff like that. That everybody's got to get their snake venom, right? That's why you be very careful. Snake venom. Boy, they get the snake venom for you. Yeah, they're as good as the gypsies selling that to you. Okay, so let's go there. So just because somebody has a degree doesn't mean they have no squat. I'll take the person that has street knowledge, because I know there's some of these homeless, and I'm trying to insult them, that have more brains, intelligence than anybody had a degree, and they some of them, no offense, they never graduated from high school, right? Some of them can't hardly read and write, and some of these people from different languages or races and cultures can't read and write, but they're smarter. It doesn't take, so let's not go there. So because we're staying on abductions. So they always use this basis. Well, they're very highly educated, the original people who have been abducted. The whole video there, they're really, what I mean. So are you kidding me? They actually, it's dangerous. Why? So let's stay focused here on this, okay? So on the deal, alien abductions, this is what I review with you, all right? Here's the deal on this one. I'm going to ask you who you think has conducted the majority of these alien abductions. Were they little green men from outer space? Or men from Mars? Where do you think they came from? I don't know the exact number, but let's throw it out there. Let's say, and actually God told me through this, the Holy Spirit and the Lord told me these truths. That I didn't get all of it, but this is the truth. You ask them yourself. This I'm telling the truth, because when the Lord told me even a year ago about aliens in Phoenix, my jaw dropped. He said, it's all bull crap, Kirk. It's all bull crap. Bull crap. It says all fake. And I said, well, I didn't say all. I just said it's fake, Kirk. The Lord told me, thank you, Lord, for telling me. Somebody steps in, or he steps himself and tells me. Told me directly on that one. So, he says fake, Kirk. So, and then, so, I let that stew in my mind a little bit, my soul. And the other day, it happened again where I was communicating me through that that is true, that some of the truth about the abductions. So I'm dragging this up for a reason to let you think about it. So you think it's these kidnap you, throwing you, and all these tests on you on a ship and somewhere outside the out in the galaxy. They float and they fly away, and they bring you back, and then they put you back in your bed. And because this is real stuff, but I'm going to tell you what it really is. Because this is people who really went through these experiences. As I'm not saying they didn't have experiments conducted on them, didn't have weird probes. All these things are real, and they didn't see real to them, real aliens. This is all real to them. This is one of those other deceptions that you got to understand the truth. But somebody came in the middle of the night and broke into your house and where you're sleeping, abducted you, and they've actually abducted children too. They have. And you know who it is? Read this. Your government agents. Yeah. Government agents took advantage of the alien news and the whole movement in the 50s and 60s to have you point the finger at these aliens from outer space when they were doing it. Kid you not? I actually talked to a lady that she's all the way with us, with the Father, the Lord, the good side, and she said it was true. She'd been through MK Ultra. She actually they actually changed her family, and it's a long story behind that. I'll let her. I don't want to tell you who she is because I don't want her to feel like, because I never asked her for permission other than to say some of these things, and she gave me permission to talk about this. But I want, other than that. But see, she actually ended up having a different family, even a different mother, through this process, through the MK Ultra. You're not. Completely different family. She said the new mother that she had, that they can do things like tell you. She goes, "Well, I'm your new mother," and she said it wasn't the nicest mother she had. She told her, she said, "I'm not your original mother." And she was really young, like 4 or 5 years of age, I think she said. Yeah. So that's a scary thought, right? You moved out of a house into another one. That's pretty freaky. Sometimes they'll tell people that she said that because she talked to different people in these MK Ultra programs, sometimes they'll wipe your memory and all these things and brainwash you and those other things. And so she said that luckily God and the Lord brought some of her memories back to make her realize what she'd been through, right? So that's the positive. But what was also interesting about this, we talked about this, that they can actually make it look like some of your family members died, and they didn't. So, to reprogram the whole family structure, right? So let's stay on alien abductions here, okay? So here's the truth on this one. That your government agents took advantage of this to use people's resource for medical testing, psychiatric testing, everything else like that through these programs, right? So they'd actually have agents dressed, I kid not, literally, no joking, dressed like aliens. Because that way they could blame the aliens on their actions versus the government themselves being responsible. See how easy that is to do? Well, it's these aliens that, those people are going to report. It's those aliens that, and so those people are going to be crazy and look crazy and, say, oh, I get abducted. So it's a double whammy. They're look insane, number one. Number two, they can hide in disguise and point the finger, like we say all the time, right? You see these distractions all the time. It's like you see it every day. Well, it's those darn terrorists in Saudi Arabia that's your enemy. It's not an industrial oil complex country trying to take advantage and power and all these things. They're the enemies. It's those aliens overseas. Don't you get it? It's those aliens overseas that you should be worried about. They're going to bomb your house and blow up buildings in New York City. Some, got to be careful of this. Some bring them down like dominoes on a September 1/1 date. See, it's them. They're the aliens. They're the enemy. See how easy this done? Point the finger. We got a scapegoat over there. Psh, right? That's what they've done with the abduction program. So these people, it was real to them. They were getting captured by agents, taking into mobile units or wherever, right? And having experience on them. Nice. Germany did the same thing during World War II. They're a little more open-minded about it. It was disgusting. They were way more open about it. When they did the Jews, all those medical experiments. Disgusting. Filthy, right? Well, you had it done right in your own backyard, folks. So, and it's sad because these people themselves don't even know the truth. Do you know how many people that amazes me? That it's not amazing because, you know, they get exposed to these things right in front of their face, and they don't realize that they were part of this stuff happening to them, which is sad. And by the way, the government does have a way of wiping your memory. They do. I've talked to, there is like a thing, Men in Black, where, you know, that show is just not kidding. They have a way of literally, with the electromagnetic stuff, to damage yourself, okay? And unfortunately, I have a veteran buddy who lost 11 to 12 years of memory through the same process. That one of my buddies in Denver, that they know this because they got too close to a microwave thing when they're doing some testing. And there was 12 soldiers there with him. And he said only 2 of them survived even. And the thing malfunctioned. It was a malfunction over blasting of microwaves and frequencies. And he said that 10 of them didn't survive. He said the other 2, him and the other one was messed up. Can't even communicate. A vegetable. He said he was down for about a year, I think, before he could even start remembering names. He survived the thing. He took a radiation blast of microwave through his brain, and unfortunately fortunately he survived, but he felt bad about those buddies, and he said, thank God I survived. And in that process, I'm mentioning this, he said, it was 11 years he had wiped. 12 years wiped. Just completely where he can remember things before a little bit, not much, like little pieces when he means that. So basically his entire memory was wiped. Let's just go with that, right? Let's just say his entire memory was wiped. But he said, you know, he has little pieces of, you know, small memories of back before 11 stuff, like little pieces of child and little pieces there, hidden in pockets, right? Which is sad because he said after a year and a half, he was basically just like a vegetable in the brain before he started waking up again, right? This waking up process of being able to have memory, of forming memories and interacting with his wife that was, still married with him, stayed with him in this process. He said that he had no idea who she was. You know, they had like, oh my God, it was like because this is later on, he was a little bit older. He said he had some 15-year marriage or something like that. I can't remember the details. 15-year marriage. He didn't remember who she was, and he had I think he had kids. Yeah, I did. He had 2 kids, a daughter and a son, I believe. Yeah, he did. And see, I just meet so many people, I so many friends. It's hard to remember. He said he don't remember anything about them. She had to tell him who they were and what they did and how they went to school, and she basically had to tell him, she goes, I had to take all my memory from what she was telling me that reform those memory of those moments. She'd say, we went here to this park, and he said, I don't remember any of it. We done out on vacation. He says, horrible. He said, you have to feed all this information to your past from your wife. What a nightmare, right? But he said, things are good now because he says, he still has problems. He said, I still have memory retention issues, but at least I can know who my wife is and wake up every day and know that this lady is in front of me is my wife, and piece of my family. She used to show me photographs of you, this and that. So you look at photographs. I mean, could you imagine? We've been through the Mandela effect, right? Where we see things change around us. Imagine it happened to you, where your memory's been whacked, right? That is freaky stuff. And yes, they do use mind control and frequencies. I told you about that, but we get a couple things in our advantage. We have God's protection too, and so it helps us through these frequency smacks. And also we operate at a higher frequency, so when they blast these brains, I can't explain all the details to you, but thank goodness that God creates a bubble shield around my head, and most likely yours, but also because all the frequency, like I said, you're operating at a higher vibration. You don't even insult these other people. You can blast those lower frequencies a little bit easier, right? And so anyway, so that is the truth on the alien abductions. See if there's anything else I want to say about that. Sorry to go on about so much. I just want to get that truth out there because it kind of hurts that this place is filthy. I'll be honest with you. This is the truth about this. I don't mind doing this mission to help everybody get out of this hell, prison earth that we're in. But boy, being born here, I know we're not in this world, but we're in this one of it. But I did not know I was going to be born in a combination of mental institute, prison. I mean, think about that. We've all been born, and no offense to God, I mean, it's a nice prison because it has some great things here. So it's no offense. I mean, I'm glad that we were put here in our creation and flesh and all those things are here, because it can be heaven on earth, but it's tough to make heaven out of this place because it's about 10% heaven, about 9% hell, right? To be honest with you, it's 9% hell. And so it's kind of like we're all born here in this prison. And so think about that, even like behind bars and jail, you're born in a penitentiary. Well, that's where you're at, my friends. But it's okay. We're born, it could have been a prison within a prison. You could have been born in these countries that are getting destroyed. Ukraine or some of the past ones, Iraq, Iran, right? So we're all born in a prison and some people are born within a prison. I thank God, our Creator, and everyone else that we're born in a blessed country, United States of America, right? Because goodness, I could have been, oh my gosh, thank goodness that. Oof. Think about other places, Ethiopia. Oof. No, thank you. No, thank you. Whoa. No, thank you. So my point is that, well, I don't know if there's a point. The fact is that, welcome to you being born in prison. But that's okay. It's a good place to start. And this is where we're going to finish it and break out too. We're going to be free. And that's awesome. Okay? So stay positive. And, one more thing before I shut off, because I want to talk to you about this. I actually I knew a professor in Western Colorado that talked to the entire class about alien abductions one time. And he said, because this guy was not your typical psychiatrist, psychologist. He was, very stern to the point of facts. Because if it weighed anyway, he was one that would, that's just bull crap. Because I didn't argue with him once over stuff. We don't need to go there. He's like, that's bull crap, Kirk, in front of the whole class. But anyway, this is one he did accept. He said, but not completely. He goes, I don't know. He goes, because when we're reviewing this, this is 1992, no, 94, 96, 96, 1996, sorry. He said, 1996, he goes, I don't know about this abduction stuff, class, but he says there's got to be something too, because you got all these different people that don't know each other and related and describing the same things and same stories, right? And he said, it sounds too well, like, when we see things, too consistent from people that know each other, kind of like the Mandela effect. Too many people coming with the same story, but so that we're like in the same thing. We've been abducted too through time and reality dimensions. So you got the same thing going on. Then it's just too many people that unrelated, don't know each other and saying the same thing. There's something to that. See, and that's how society feeds us. We talk about the Mandela effect. They're like, well, this is how it goes. False memories, misremembered, right? And they said, it's too many. That's like, they're not listening to this. That these are real abductions. These people were really abducted. Okay, and that's sad. And this is done by your government agents. Now, how much the fallen angels? You see, you got to realize. I was thinking about this. That even if you have fallen angels, they're kind of just sitting back watching us destroy ourselves. Yes, there's spiritual warfare, but the ultimate enemy is us. Like, not. If we come clean with God and repent and be good souls and good in here in flesh, that those fallen angels have zero chance. But the fact is we don't, and that's what gives them a foothold. Because they even said during, after World War II, Japan and even China says, we'll never have to drop another nuclear bomb on the United States to get, to finish this, what we didn't finish in this era. They said they'll destroy themselves from the inside out. They said, and guess what we're doing? Like any empire, we're destroying ourselves from the inside out. Look at the division, the black versus whites, the officers versus civilians, the this church versus that church religion, this versus that, and, all goes on and on. The division, right? Just dividing us. Republicans versus Democrats, blah, blah. We are destroying ourselves from the inside out. That's okay, because we're united. They divide the nations and people, but we're divided with God. You're united with God, so, you got to remember that too, right? So that is important, because we've got to realize that there's a lot of fakery out there, right? And there's someone else who's going to have to. I'm just tired. It's a very important point. I think it was important to me. I thought it was maybe to help you out, but you got all these stories, and some are real, some are not, blah blah, right? So anyway, like I said, the fallen angels, we heard the same story. They did experiments a long time ago, even before this current government stuff did experiments, and the people. Well, we know about how many experiments are done with all the different programs and projects by your government. So you can add another one to that list. All right. Well, I'll put a comment in if I think that piece is important, or maybe it wasn't. Because in the end, we can do all these conspiracies, we can do all these, this, that, MK Ultra. It doesn't matter. I care about what happened to these people. That's not what I mean. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter those people. Each soul that went through that stuff, that's horrifying. So what I mean, it doesn't matter going forward. That we've got to dismiss them because of those actions. We've got to do it because what those people suffered for. That we're not going to let them suffer in vain, right? So that's what matters. So we focus on the keys of things that matter, not because we can't change that, right? We can't change it. So what we can change is come with love, peace, and joy in the future, the now and tomorrow. Okay? All right. Love you. God bless.